Doctor Who returned for the Halloween apocalypse, and ratings-wise, it was an apocalypse. Yeah, that's too bad, isn't it? But rather predictable at this point. So here we are at Matt McCloy's Cosmic Book News to summarize all of it. So yeah, he's pointing out the ratings are again terrible at an all-time low. So for first series premiere, so it's the comeback for Doctor Who after since the last season and all that stuff. You'd think there would be a good turnout, at least for the first episode. Well, there wasn't. 4.43 million viewers tuned in on Sunday night. So he makes the comparison to season 12's 4.88 million viewers. So there's a bit of a drop. And then, of course, you can go back to season 11, 8.20. Now, to some extent, this one isn't. You had the factor of it was curiosity and whatnot, because Doctor Who had already been in decline at the time, and then this is, we're going to make the Doctor a woman. Okay, so people tuned in to what are they going to do with this? What's it going to be like, and all that. And well, they saw it. And so it plummeted. I mean, people were hanging on and looking for things to see how it would go. But for the most part, the shows were just so bland and lacking in any excitement or charm at all, And so you basically, you get about one episode per season that was anywhere near being good. With the first one, it was easily a kablam. The one that was supposed to be, like about Amazon or what have you. And that one is just because it was the only one that seemed close to a Doctor Who episode. And the rest were just so bad. And then the next one, you would have moments here and there where it seemed interesting or not, but for the most part, no. And then here, Ascension of the Cybermen was almost a good one. It was almost good, and then oh boy, what followed it just gutted the whole franchise and has done, really terrible damage. Now, the apparent teases shown in the first of the Halloween apocalypse, it could go either way. So if it's the beginning of the end to undo the crap that the timeless children brought, then that would be a good thing, even if it's done sloppily and what have you. But if it's done, it's done. But this seems unlikely, But it's the only necessary thing to right the ship. For Russell T Davies to come in, if he's still going to be dragged down by the idiocy of that episode and what it does to the overall lore of Doctor Who, there's not a whole lot he can do. Just because his episodes will have more excitement and adventure and more clever twists and turns in it, is not going to fix that. So look, no one showed up. So it's pretty bad. Hey, look, Chewie was there. Well, so now it's interesting. McCloyne here, he admits that he actually liked the episode. It's not a bad episode per se. Now, this is another one that says, hey, maybe this is the good one for Series 13. It's all downhill after that. It's nothing great, but for a Jodie episode, it's not bad. People were complaining about the CGI and stuff, and it really has to go some to irritate me with that. I don't really care about it. I was fine with their little romp that they did at the opening of the show. But yes, as Jodie episodes go, it wasn't too bad. And they kind of gave her things where she's troubled about this mystery and whatnot, and she's still trying to figure out what this business about the timeless child and all that was about. She's seeking answers about the Division, which was this secret order within the Time Lords and that sort of thing. And apparently Chewie here knows something about them in the episode. So one of these things I thought about Jodie, if they had made it a more darker series for her, she might have done better at that instead of trying to be this silly, bad impression of David Tennant. It might have worked a lot better. I've always thought that. So there's missed opportunities there. Looking back over it all, it probably would have been better if they just never bothered with this and moved on with some, younger guy to be the Doctor, which it kills me to say it, but I'm afraid the marketplace that new Doctor Who has been successful at just wasn't interested in a Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, because I think he was the best of the new Doctors, but that's just me, because you see what really hit high was David Tennant, and so there's lessons to be learned there, and you kind of needed to try to get someone not to copy him exactly, but the romantic hero, I think, is what appealed certainly to the female audience that they reached and did very well with. So that was some of the elements they could have done. As far as the female Doctor, they really didn't do anything with her. It's just bland slap job episodes with some political preaching here and there, and I think that's enough to justify it all. And no, you got to be entertaining. So, yeah, he goes on about there's some elements here and there. And, of course, the fear is that, well, it's the lazy writing of Chibnall. So it teases a lot of stuff, and none of it will pay off. And that's very likely, although he's not alone in that. I would say Moffat has done some of that himself in his run, albeit much better than Chibnall has done. But that sort of thing can be expected, and it's unfortunate because he's got a lot of work stuff to fix, and he should do it, but I'm dubious that he will. So you're only getting 6 episodes. There's other 2 that'll be specials, which I guess will be a means by which they cap off Jodie's run. And no, he's not a pregnant Centauran. They don't get pregnant, at least not yet. It's his helmet. But looks like the next episode will be, the War of the Sontarans. So we'll get Sontarans back, and it looks like they're back to being the villains they were, not the comical characters, although there's some amount of silliness with them, and there kind of always was. But they'll be bad guys. So the first episode introduced, you got the new bad guys in there. That's, I'm sure, is going to lead to more of the Timeless Child narrative, now called Flux. Well, that's the overall arcing story for this season. And but then you get the Weeping Angels in there, and you get the Sontarans. So looks like they're going to deal with the Sontarans first, and then they'll move to the next, and then I'm sure the Weeping Angels will show up. And then finally, I think the Doctor's final battle will be with this new villain and all of that, and what that pertains, and where it leads, and all that. If they do it like that, that might work out, because it's all going to be a connected thing. But the cool aspect of it, such that you can get out of this disaster, is the cliffhangers. So you get a cliffhanger in the first episode, so it's like classic Who. And you can move on to that. So perhaps the Doctor bests the Sontarans, maybe, well, however they're going to do this with the next episode. And so the Sontarans are defeated, but then she's still got to go on for what else is going on for the bigger villains. And so it's always going to be this cliffhanger until the final episode, where she regenerates into Michael Sheen. I have no idea. That would be impressive if they were able to pull that off, but I just think it's going to be another woman or something like this. Got to check off a box somewhere. Now, ideally, the way Chibnall has painted this into a corner, it would be much better if Joe Martin's Doctor was a future Doctor, because it doesn't mess with the background of Doctor Who. And there you go. You could have her as this Doctor, however they want to deal with that going forward, because I'm not sure how they're going to orchestrate the series because of the shape it's in, and how, where do you get the money for it? Is this going to get it from HBO Max and all that? So it would be the decent thing to do, I think, instead of just having her be there and be nothing but a token. And it's just, but that's the corner it's painted at. And you know, who knows? Maybe she'd make an okay doctor. I don't know. And then get back to what it's supposed to be a man. I mean, it just sorry. And I mean, a better writer could have done a better version of this. And I says, yeah, I guess it's, you know, the missed opportunity for something like that. But it happened this way. And I think you just leave it alone. And what's wrong with the Romana series? And if you've got what it takes, prove yourself with a character who doesn't have as much backstory and whatnot or status as Doctor Who himself. But you could, if you're up to the challenge, and prove what you've got, that you can write an entertaining scripts and whatnot on a character like that. There she is. She's right there. And, you know, you could take off with that. So there we are. Doctor Who's still very much in trouble. But Russell T Davies is on his way. But how much of a mess will he inherit remains to be seen. It's already a pretty big mess. But, well, I guess we'll see. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness, so many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.